All right, man. You ready?
Spit y'all gum out, man.
What?
I heard y'all niggas talking, especially you. I forgot about
He was, yeah.
I'm not gonna chew it.
Don't swallow it. It'll stay there for 7
I won't
years.
chew it. Go ahead.
You're just gonna keep the gum in your mouth
Yeah,
and
man.
not chew it, nigga. That's impossible.
I can.
That's impossible.
See,
That's
right
impossible.
now, it's right,
That's
right here.
impossible.
It's right here. It's right
That's
here.
impossible.
It's right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you see this dude chew his gum one time,
One time.
he's out of here.
Uno time.
We're gonna have a new space. We have to get a new angry
Can
black
you-
man.
can
or
you-
an angry white man, or an angry Asian man. It doesn't matter.
We got-
Racist. It's getting real racist.
I'm Captain Villain Black.
What's up? I'm the second born.
This is angry black man.
He wiped the moisture off his mouth.
So we about to get into Watchmen. We're gonna talk about what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, or what we can't let go. We're gonna talk about significant moments, characters, our standout character, and then lastly we're gonna rate it 1 to 10.
I know a lot of people complain in the blogs and stuff about it being racial and them using the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots, and you know, they were really uncomfortable with that. I can understand how they can be uncomfortable with that. A lot of people can be, but I liked it. I like the story. I like the fact it was updated with everything that's going on these days, the climate that's going on. I liked it, man. I really didn't have a whole lot. It wasn't a whole lot that I didn't like about the show.
There wasn't a whole lot that you did like.
There was a lot that I liked.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I liked it. I'm just gonna echo most of your sentiments. I like the historical reference with Tulsa. I like how it mirrors today's politics.
Okay.
They got the right actors to play the right parts.
Yes.
All the, I guess the cinematography.
Yeah.
I thought that was done perfectly. Everything to Dr. Manhattan, down to just the small details of even Looking Glass. All the jokes were on point. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too little. It was the right time. I thought Blake's character was outstanding. So
Yeah.
I'm the same. I don't really have much to complain about. I loved it.
I got some things to complain about.
Okay.
It's not much.
What we liked first.
But likes,
Yes,
yeah,
come
this
on,
is
man.
on a whole nother level of likes. Like, what I liked about it, I like the non-linear storytelling. I always liked that type of storytelling anyway.
Okay.
The whole story wasn't like that. I mean, it was basically Ozymandias' part, but you know, and then we got to say too. Spoilers. Then we got into Dr. Manhattan's part, and the way they told that whole episode was.
That was probably the best episode, man, by far.
I think it was as far as storytelling. Storytelling, yeah, that was the best episode for sure. But
Let me
that wasn't my favorite episode.
But that was my favorite. Let me just add one little. Let me piggyback off that. The reason why I like that so much, this is one of my likes, was this is the first time, and I know that they had a movie, but we never got to see how Dr. Manhattan actually sees time.
Yeah.
This is the one episode they try to address that, to kind of give us an idea of how he operates. And it was, to me, it was like mind blowing, because he was simultaneously in one moment and at another moment and at another moment,
Which doesn't make
all at the
sense,
same
but
time. It
It doesn't have to make sense.
It didn't have to make sense, but it was like dope to see it from that character's point of view. You know what I'm saying? It was like, that's what I liked about that episode. That was my absolutely favorite episode out of all of them.
See y'all.
All right, so real quick, let me just let y'all know that this was shot in 2019. All right, that's before COVID, that's before social distancing. So we still practicing that. We masked up out here. Y'all be safe and watch Watchmen. It's free on HBO this weekend, or just go buy the DVD. It's on DVD, Blu-ray, you know what I'm saying. Y'all stay safe. Happy Juneteenth, and let's get back into it, all right?
I already touched on the political stuff. Like, I usually don't like stuff like that in my shows, but I mean, I appreciated it. But other than that, I liked how it tied into the comics. Like, I mean, to take a comic from 1985 and in 2018 and get it to relate,
Yeah.
man, that's a pretty tough thing to do.
Yeah.
And man, they did it masterfully.
Yeah, man, they did it.
Masterfully.
They hit it out of the park, man. Out of the park.
And then I liked how the show didn't care. It didn't care what you knew about Watchmen. Like it didn't have to go back and tell you, hey, the squid dropped. Even though it showed you that, and didn't have to tell you that, hey, you know, Dr. Manhattan is this blue. This is how Dr. Manhattan. It didn't care.
Yes,
I don't
it
care
did.
what you know.
Man.
I'm gonna tell my story, and if you want to know, you can go back and do some research on it.
Reddit.
That comic book.
I
You can
appreciate.
you can do Reddit too.
That's dangerous. Don't do that.
It's
I
dangerous.
It's
Takes
not
you down a
dangerous.
black
It's all
hole.
opinion. It's
It
all
does.
opinions.
Reddit will lead you down a black
will
hole.
lead
You know what,
down
man? I
a
appreciate
rabbit
it
hole.
because
A rabbit hole.
Not a black hole.
because they, like you
Not
said,
trying to be
you stated,
racist.
man.
I've seen some people be confused because it goes after the comic book and not the movie, which they differed very much. So a lot of people were getting confused. A lot of people were upset, especially at the Rorschach character. But I'm gonna get into that later. But all the different
catch
twists with all the characters, Dr. Manhattan, Will, Ozymandias, like it seemed like every character had some type of twist to them, and a lot of those I didn't see coming. The only one that I called, and I didn't call it completely, I just said, yo, something's up with Cal. Something's up with Cal. From like,
Yeah, you called that because
Day
I
one.
did not.
I
see
called
it
the
all.
wife.
yeah, you called the
Knew
wife.
something was up with
the
her.
racist wife. How can you have a racist husband and not know about it?
Right.
Yeah,
He got KKK clan, robes up in the closet.
Right.
And she wouldn't accidentally stumble onto that one day. So.
Of all the years of living
And then
together.
plus she know your daddy was racist.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Well, don't forget, even at the living room table, remember she was telling him to clean his nose. So I mean, if
She
you
knew he was out there.
yeah,
doing
so
cocaine
if
and
you
all that.
know that much detail
Yeah.
about him, there's no way you don't know everything.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll tell you what I didn't like about it. I didn't like the ending of the show.
Okay.
I didn't like the way they set everything up. Like I think I mentioned this before. Of pretty much
Who?
Who was that?
Who's
Oh.
that?
I don't know. If
I'm
you're
sorry.
gonna, but that,
Excuse me,
if,
second
are you about
one.
to talk my point?
Excuse me.
Because you can't do that.
No, I'm not.
You about to talk. You about to talk my point.
Oh, then let me.
Yeah,
Let
work
me-
on
let
something
me-
else, bro. That's mine.
Well, anyway, I didn't like the ending. Right, I'm not going to get into the ending, and I also didn't like the fact that the writer of the story is pretty much saying that this is it. It's a one and done thing. He doesn't want to do another season. He doesn't have a problem with another season. Someone else doing it, but he's kind of done with it. It won't be him unless something changes. But I'm pretty sure HBO is probably going to do something about this. But the only thing about it is I don't know where they can go from this.
That's man. That's
this
what I'm
seemed
like.
pretty self-contained. This story
Yeah.
was pretty self-contained.
I
got an idea
that's a
where they
like.
can go.
Yeah.
That's a like for me that the
Yeah.
fact that he only wanted to do one season.
Right.
Because he's just a self-contained story. Like I said, man, we don't need to have franchises 8, 7, 9 Game of Thrones type seasons. Like we just have
HBO
one.
ain't gonna pass
Hey.
on that money though,
Yeah.
baby.
You
Can we
can't
just
talk
have
about Game of
one
Thrones,
good?
man.
That's what I'm saying, man. Can we have
Home
one
box office
good
is not gonna
season
pass
and
on
that's
that
it?
money, bro.
No, man. Like,
Not
don't you
happening.
want? Don't you want to have something that's like Game of Thrones, where you can?
No.
I know this is bankable. I can watch this. I'm gonna get good episodes.
No.
and it's gonna be a good story, and I can get another season. out of
No,
it.
we don't. There's no guarantee that's going to be good.
Right.
I actually don't want to see Dr. Manhattan, Angela Barr, A-Bar. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see that either.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
But I don't think that you have to operate with her. You could be like, kind of like what's the True Detective, right? So every season of True
It's a
Detective,
different
it's a different
arc,
detective and a
different
different
detective.
story. So you don't have to actually get rid of Watchmen, but you can just start focusing on, this is another portion of the story.
That's a dislike right there. What happened to Night Owl?
Yeah, okay. That's,
Yeah,
that was,
Yeah,
there was
that
no
is.
closure on that, man.
None whatsoever.
Yeah, it was just like kind of hinted that maybe he was in jail. Didn't they?
No. We knew he was caged up. He was caged up.
That's what we. Yeah,
We knew he was in jail.
Surmised, but no one ever said that. Yeah,
Yeah, he's in
he's
jail.
in jail, and I can get him out. All right. So what you got as far as what you
Like,
can't let
so-
go? This is your segment.
No,
you should be all over this, son.
No. This is not can't let it go, man. This is dislike. So what I can't let go of is what I keep telling y'all about Looking Glass. Remember, they're sitting in the car. This is after Chief's been killed, and Looking Glass gets in the car with her, and he just basically is like, "So what were you doing? Where were you at?" And she's like, "What? Am I a suspect now?" And he just you can kind of see that he was onto something. He just didn't know what he's onto. That's a good thing. I can't let go of the fact that right there, the mystery could have unraveled had he just keep pressing.
What mystery?
What
Well, her relation to
what reason?
her relation to the chief and
What reason did he have to keep pressing?
I mean, they already
because one, we are talking about the middle of the night when she found him. Okay. Two, why you on at home in bed? You just happen to be out with the chief. So I mean, that's just an example of what I can't let go of. I thought it was good writing. I thought it was, like I said, he didn't even understand that he was onto something. He was onto the whole premise of the show. The other thing I can't let go of is the ending of the show. So you've been building this whole premise that Dr. Manhattan can transfer his powers. What's up with that?
I thought you were gonna say her hovering over the water, but you didn't get that far.
No,
yet,
sorry.
So
So you spent like 2 or 3 episodes, and crucially the most important episode with Dr. Manhattan, our favorite. And he says it. He says, "Hey, theoretically, I could transfer my power."
Theoretically,
and
it means he doesn't know.
that's fine though. But he
theory.
says it. But you feed
Hypothesis.
it. But you've already fed it to us. You further had Angela pick up the egg and basically say, "So you could just put it in here, and I'll eat it, and I'll get your powers." And she was like, "Whatever." And she cracked it and put it in his drink. He took it and drank it.
But you know what?
So that was the second way you drove it into it.
No. Prior to that, we had the egg farm, which originally sowed the seed because Lady True bought the egg farm from the farmers, right?
Oh,
yeah. So
huh,
all this has been they've been starting, planting this seed
Yes.
way back then, man.
And then the whole scene with the eggs, and she slams it down.
There was
and
another scene with her cooking too.
That one. So
in the
Looking up from
beginning
bowl.
with the eggs.
she's
Yeah, the
cooking
beginning.
eggs. So there's a lot
with
of
the
reference.
kids' class.
One of the title scenes. You remember one of the titles? Because Watchmen doesn't really have an intro, but
What?
one of the titles is like the screen starts cracking.
Oh, there was
and
eggs.
then Watchmen
yeah,
comes
that's
out
right.
of it. Yeah.
You know what?
There's a lot of-
They were sowing
Right.
that seed for eggs.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So yeah, just my point is that you've spent the entirety of the show building up to this idea that he could transfer his powers, and so you end the show foolishly trying to trick us into thinking that Angela doesn't have his powers, and I think we all well know that she does.
I don't.
What would have been better to do is, and I don't want to steal your thunder. Maybe you want to talk.
No, go ahead.
Your idea was not so much that she gets the powers, but what did she get and how would she use them?
Yeah,
good, bad, different. So I'll let you have that thunder.
Like my whole thing is if they showed something, but we did, we found out she's never going to be quite like Dr. Manhattan. We can agree upon that.
Is that a
Right.
good thing or a bad thing?
That's the question.
That's probably a good thing, right?
So see, man, that's what I love about this show, man.
That's the question.
Everything
probably a
is
good
great.
thing.
There's no black and white.
Yeah, that's
Everything
true.
is great.
So if-
there's no heroes. There's no villains.
You can do the
This
foot
is-
thing now. Wouldn't it have been better if you ended the show where she's stepping on the water and it turns blue and then it cuts?
Yes.
We know she's got it, but
Yeah.
man, what is she gonna be with it?
I like it.
that. That was dope. Good time.
I like it being ambiguous, just like I said, like that one movie, the movie Inception. I liked how they left that to your interpretation. Is
Yes.
it still spinning or is it not still spinning? To me,
Oh,
that
at
was
the
the same
end.
type of effect,
Yeah, right.
where it was like, does she have the powers? Or does she not have the powers? You'll never know.
The last thing I didn't like was when the baby squid are falling. And I'm thinking that these things are falling with some kind of velocity.
Yeah, obviously.
Right, yeah.
It's got a hole in
Gatling
it.
gun.
And then Angela picks up the little. What'd she pick up? Like a little cover to a crate,
It was a tachyon cover.
whatever. And she just goes running, and it didn't penetrate. And I'm
made
thinking,
out
like,
of
wait a
aluminium.
minute, these squid just
Made out of vibranium, man.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
Yeah.
Vibrantium, adamantium, and vibranium.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, these squid just brought down the whole machine, but they can't penetrate a plastic case cover.
Yeah.
It's a
was-
small target.
That was
I don't know.
too much.
I don't even
No,
know why. Why
I
did she
agree with
leave the little Dr. Manhattan?
She was in the booth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
booth.
With the girl.
Like,
Like, why'd you leave that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
She had to
Where
go.
was she going?
She went to the theater. She went to the nearest.
Oh, she wanted to go be with her kids.
I don't think she knew her
She
kids
knew-
was there.
yeah, she
Yes,
didn't know
did.
that. No, she
Dr.
didn't.
Manhattan asked her where he said they're safe.
And they're with your.
Yeah.
They're with your
And
grandfather.
they went to
Ooh.
grandfather. Ooh, that's
I'm
right.
thinking maybe
I
like
know
at his
exactly.
house.
I thought he was
No,
with Lady
she,
True.
She didn't. She didn't know. Yeah.
Your dislikes, Cap.
Oh, what I can't let go of. I got one. It's the fact that people don't understand how Rorschach,
Baby Shark and Roe Shark.
Baby Shark right there to do. How Rorschach.
Why was that in Batman's voice?
Because Rorschach talked like that.
He did.
Rorschach.
He more sounded like Batman just now.
No, Batman had to live. Let the Batman talk.
What I can't let go of is that people don't understand how Rorschach could be racist. Now, I'm going to say, I don't think that the guy's racist. Look at these two rolling their eyes.
I hate this talk. Go ahead.
I don't necessarily think that he's racist. And I think if he was around during the time that 7th Cavalry was around, he'd be fighting them. So I'm going to premise that. But the guy read a right-wing, ultra-conservative, fundamentalist, racist magazine. Okay, he
I
read
bet
that.
you can't say that again.
I can't.
He read it.
He read that on a regular. When they raided his apartment, they found articles of that all over his apartment. Okay, so my thing is, who reads that? Have you read some racist literature?
Yes,
lately?
I've had. No, I haven't.
Yeah, and if you did, and you just happened to flip through it, would you subscribe to it and keep reading it?
Probably not.
Probably not. So
Now,
I'm not going to call him racist.
With
I'm not
one
gonna
exception, Rorschach being a investigator, a detective,
Yes.
probably wanting to get into the mind of the people he's hunting.
That is
Okay.
true. That is
So,
true.
but you do make a great point though. Like nobody reads racist stuff just to read
No.
it. You read it because you believe it.
Exactly.
So,
But
that's a good point.
He could be in that mind. So my point is not to prove that he's a racist. I'm trying to prove that, hey, this guy, they took a mantle basically and they used it.
Mm-hmm.
So he sees black and white. Everything is black and white. He's a fundamentalist.
Right.
So, the 7th Cavalry came along and they basically read that newspaper. So he published his book, all his writings and all that, to that newspaper.
Right.
That newspaper took it. They published it. Most people didn't believe it. They're like, what is this? Like, no, who is this dude? No one knows who this dude is.
Right.
So who reads that? Who would read that?
They would.
Yeah, racist people, KKK, they would read it. They would say, man, this dude was a hero, and they would adopt him. That's how it came to be. It's not that he's racist.
Okay.
It's that, and I like how it parallels Hooded Justice, because this is how everybody thought how it was. They were like, oh, this is a white guy, whatever. He came up, he was the first one. And in fact, that wasn't true at all. They didn't even get his costume right.
Yeah.
Like the dude had a big cowl, like he never had that. So I just like how it kind of mirrored how that's how today is, man. All this fake news going around and stuff. Man, my hat's off to it, man. I can't say
agree.
more about it, man.
I agree.
So there you go,
they
people.
did a good
Rorschach
job.
is not racist,
Rorschach.
but Rorschach Shack Shook is not racist, but. They just basically took him up as a man and said, hey, we got white hoods too. Hey, you got a white hood. So,
I mean, it fit the narrative. I mean, I didn't have a problem with that.
now you don't have a problem with it.
Well, I'm
he
just
had a
saying.
big
He had a. Oh, man, what I'm
Big
saying? He get on
problem.
camera and switch up, man.
Big problem.
What I was going to say is, what I'm saying is, I can take your explanation.
All right.
But my thing was, I didn't immediately say, Rorschach is.
I thought it was Rorschach.
No, I know. I'm going at the.
Rorschach. All right,
You just created a new
I see what
character.
you're doing.
Rorschach.
Rorschach.
Rorschach
Log on,
is
log
racist.
on.
Okay, I
All
just
right.
didn't want to fall for that because he wasn't,
Okay.
and you couldn't prove that.
No, he wasn't. No, I don't think he was. Like I said, I think he'd be fighting them if he was alive and trying to,
So you
disassociate himself
you
from
came
that.
a little bit more on our side a little bit with that because first yesterday you were not saying that, and I wasn't.
You did clean it up a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
I had to clean up. I had to do some more research because I
Okay.
was like, I'm not explaining this
That's
right.
what that Reddit black hole would do to you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. The show doesn't care what you know. If you want to know more about it, do some research.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, so
You have to.
Oh, Lady True being a clone.
she's
I
not.
really think that was a clone. Because again, when the squid
What is this?
went through her hand,
What are we doing?
I
you
don't know.
notice what?
I don't know.
What part is this? Oh,
We're not-
I don't know what this
I thought you were
fits
about to
into.
close it.
We're not sticking
You
to
about
the
to close it?
I was about to go on to the next subject.
Oh, well, strike that out then.
I don't know where that would fit into though.
Hey, man, you got one more time, man. You got one more time.
Just because you're sitting in the middle, that's a luxury today.
The Hooded Justice reveal. I mean, I thought that was a significant moment in the.
That was. I
It
mean,
was.
that was a twist. Obviously, it was a twist. I mean,
Right.
to
It was a
see-
twist.
You know that was Will. I mean,
Again, it paralleled the fake news too. That you were speaking about earlier.
I didn't see it coming because honestly, man, when they had that dude strung up and roped up on that tree, I was like, he's dead.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I was like, man,
how is he dead though?
And that's when they kept saying, was like, how did he make it?
Yeah, I was like, did he come back? Because then I was thinking maybe he Dr. Manhattan. And
man, I started
back.
thinking that maybe he got cloned. And I was like, man, maybe Lady True cloned him, and that's not really him, and he's dead. And then you find out, like, and he comes around the corner with that noose on his neck. I was like, this dude is Hooded Justice, man.
Yeah, it took me a while. I was like, why is he dressed like Hooded Justice?
Right.
And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Well, okay, so what happens? Because Hooded Justice is clearly a white dude. And then they started. I was like, man, this is insane, man. they done took a character that's been he's been a comic character for 20, 30 years, 30 plus years, and they made his backstory and made it fit. And I was like,
that was dope, man. Oh, you know what, man? It was. This is a significant moment. I guess Ozymandias. He's just telling these two people, because at first I thought there were only two of them, right? They go and they do the play. He puts the guy in the chamber and he just sets it on fire. And then you're thinking, like, you see the guy comes out, you're like, oh, well, they're clones. But then I'm thinking, like, oh, that dude just had like a little door he just dropped out.
Yeah.
And when you open the door, it's like
he's
a burnt ash body. Like he's fried chicken on fire. It's like, dang. I was like, dang.
What did you say? You say burnt?
Fried chicken.
You said burnt ash.
Ash.
Oh, ash. Okay. All right.
That do make me think about another significant moment was the masked
mask clone.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a
he didn't
great
even
reveal.
look like a clone, man.
That was a great reveal. Yeah. That was a pivotal moment, and just the fact that he created a villain to entertain him until that satellite came back around. And he could get his daughter's attention.
So this whole time he went. It's like he got there, right? He got there the first year. Was like, oh, I don't like this,
right? And
then he just like, well, I know True told me this is happening. He immediately planned this the entire
every moment,
time, every moment of it until that was going to happen again.
Well, I think
that's man. Come on, man.
If you look at what they were telling us, I think by year 2. I think it was by year 2 he's getting clearly aggravated, because the first time they brought the cake in, it was a candle. He was, he's all happy, and then the second year, just when it just started, you could tell it, like you say, he was just getting aggravated, and you could see he just started putting that plan into motion. So,
but all just to kill time, man.
Yeah, but the mask guy creating a villain for yourself to keep you occupied. We had no
idea that he told that guy, "You're gonna be bad. You're gonna wear this mask. You're going to be my adversary, so everything that I do, you're going to tell me I can't do." Like, he's playing a game the entire time.
Yes.
And this whole time, he's never in any danger.
Never.
Everybody on this, I won't call it a planet, but the section of this planet is like, he's like a second deity to them. They don't want him to leave,
Right, yep.
And even all those experiments he was doing just to get bodies out,
yes.
To create a message.
Yeah.
Like, that was all unnecessary.
It was.
Yeah. He could have just walked right out there, but no, he wanted to shoot himself over like that. That's a crazy way to waste time, but I guess when you got 8 years.
And
then
to do.
Make a sport out of it.
Piggybacking off of that, you come to find out that he's been on Earth for 2 years, and Lady True has had him frozen in gold just to wake him up at the last minute to say, "Yeah, I'm about to ascend to a god." Man, that was honestly. I saw some people saying that in comments and stuff, and I just kind of dismissed it. I would have never thought that on my own.
Well, you know what? They gave us a clue when they first came in there and visited her when they were when she was trying to look for her granddad. Right? When they were doing the investigation, and she was like, why does he look? What's his name? Blake's like, why does he look so old?
Right.
Why did you get a statue like that? He just looks so old. And she's like, that's what he looks like.
And then she also,
she did. So matter of fact,
they also asked about her father, because she was like, "Yeah, my mother's here, and my father will be here." And there was just
that's right.
She did say that.
My favorite character was Looking Glass. I don't know why. I felt like he was the only good guy in the show. The episode where they dedicated just solely to him, man, that was my favorite episode. Like, I would say the other episodes were better, but I would say between that one and the Hooded Justice reveal, that was my favorite. I thought it was going to be one of these throwaway episodes that they do where, like, Here we go. We're gonna learn about this
filler?
guy. Yeah, like who really cares? But his backstory was so interesting, and it made me think about something I had never thought about before, like trauma after a alien squid landed and wiped out 3 million people, and you were in the epicenter of that, and you came out unscathed. Like you would constantly be in fear of that.
But then to find out that
Yeah.
this is all a hoax
And get your world turned upside down. Because he
that
was a kid, man.
Yeah, that was like
It ruined his marriage.
I mean, just think about this.
Ruined
Like
everything, his whole
he
life.
figured this out. He sees this thing, and he's just like, his whole life has just been around this entire incident that happened. It changed his entire life. He lost his wife. He's by himself, and now he finds out this was all fake.
Mm-hmm.
And even
then he's not quite sure if it's
even
fake
when
or
it
not.
before it began, you know, he's already kind of stepping into a religious realm that, you know, just kids took advantage of him. And then this happened, so it just shatters even on a religious level what he believes. So you're right, he just got destroyed
he did.
by something that wasn't real.
And then this dude took it like a champ, man. Like he ain't had no outbursts. He found out about it. He was just like, dang. And he just went right back to work. Like it was nothing. And man, he just took it like a champ, man.
It bothered him, bro.
It bothered him a little bit, but you ain't see him like throwing stuff or screaming or yelling.
Because he took his
little
alert,
box.
his alert
Trashed
thing
it.
together. But he was like, oh,
Yeah, he did kind of
then he was
spaz.
like, then he came back and was like, oh, I might need that.
Yeah, and that's the thing
He
too.
was kind of confused, like, man, okay, what do I do? Like,
Well, that's the
I
thing.
might
Like,
need
even
this. I
though
don't
it's
know.
fake,
That's how trauma works.
Even though it's
It
fake,
does.
it's
I'm
still
used to
happening.
it. Yep, I can't be without this thing. I need it. It's a part of who I am. I got to say that my favorite character was probably Ozymandias.
Okay.
It's very rare that you take somebody that's cast to be the villain and turn him into something that you feel a little bit of, well, not sympathy, maybe empathy for. Like if you think about it,
I don't see how he's a villain though.
Well, and so I'm saying, like, it kind of crossed the line. Now,
He's
make no
definitely
mistake,
gray
he
area.
murdered people.
Yes.
But he thought he was doing it for the greater good. Kind of that Punisher thing, like you know, good at heart, but your outward manifestation of that is real bad.
Yeah.
Now, also, he comes with his own set of trauma. So when Dr. Manhattan goes to him and says, "Hey, you know, almost godlike, I prepared a place for you. Do you want to go?" And you know, you just kind of see it like there's nothing I can do that's humanity will thank me for. Nothing I do is so good enough. So send me. Just send me to paradise.
No hesitation, is it?
Right, yeah, just send me.
It's like, that's the one thing I trying to chuckle. I was like, man, he didn't even think about that.
No.
Yeah,
Think
it
like
just
this, like, I got this
send
place,
me.
man. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Man.
I ain't got to get nothing in order. I ain't got to
Yeah,
go
I ain't
tell
gonna take
nobody.
nothing with me. I'm
Like,
just gonna go.
Let's
Just
go.
go.
Right, and even for Dr. Manhattan, he's such a pivotal character. His plan B is something that gave Dr. Manhattan what he'd been looking for his whole life, and simultaneously it gave us the story. That little device is the reason why we were here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna say my favorite character was Angela.
All right, A-bar.
It was kind of going through like Hooded Justice storyline, but like hers is a little different, obviously, because you know she had her parents, but her parents died tragically. We didn't find that out until later on. But it was shut up, man. But it was nice. I can't talk because these guys over here running their mouth. Anyway, it was nice seeing that dynamic that she had, not even knowing who her grandfather was, but still ended up being what her grandfather was.
Right.
That was. I thought that was dope. Was like she
That
ended up
is
being
dope.
a vigilante
Yes.
without even knowing her true history. You know, and then her grandfather meeting her and like, hey, you don't even know who you really are. Like when he first met her, like
He said it just like that too.
He
hey,
did.
Hey, you don't even know who you are.
yeah, like and he knew what she was. Like, he knew that she was a vigilante, so he knew that she was Sister Knight. You know, it was kind of dope seeing her story kind of get put together over the entire course of the season, man.
Right.
And I did like her, man.
Everybody's
And
story.
you know that's my girl right there, man. I love me some Regina King, man.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where does it fall?
Oh,
As far as TV shows.
10. I'm gonna go
That
with
was
a
a
10.
lot of prep.
Yeah.
10.
10.
So I'm saying perfect for me.
So it's a perfect. So it's a 10.
Perfect.
So I saw a quote the other day where somebody was saying that they thought that Game of Thrones was going to be the decade show for HBO, but it turns out it was Watchmen. What do you think about that statement?
Man, I really can't. I mean,
It's
I know,
tough.
That's tough.
I know
Yeah,
that. I
'cause
know
you're
that
dealing one season versus what?
they got
8?
multiple seasons, man. But man,
Game of Thrones was really, really good seasons, like 1 through 4.
yeah. So you had some stuff. You had some filler episodes in there, but like this was like for the 9 episodes that we got, man.
Nonstop.
There wasn't a throwaway.
It was not
wasn't
one
a throwaway,
throwaway,
man. So
Not one.
I don't
Everything
know,
connected
man.
together, and I was like, "This is probably the first series."
They might have a good point on that, man.
It's close because, like, I usually
that's
don't
close.
go back and watch
That's
series.
close.
I went back and watched Game of Thrones through a second time.
I did.
I'm probably gonna watch Watchmen again a second time. I had already
Oh,
started.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Just to see all the stuff that I missed, all the little hints
But
and
that
subtle
is
stuff.
that is tough, though. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we should probably come back maybe a week or two later and ask that same question. That's tough, Angry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones was that show, man.
It was,
man.
it was,
for
man.
a
but
long time.
Yes.
It
It
was
was
for a
that
long
show.
time, man. I know it had
Characters are
yes.
the characters.
I
I would say
understand
all the way
that.
up to season 6.
Man,
I understand that, but man, there were a lot of throwaway episodes in there. All right, man, this is. got
I'm
off the
hangry.
track.
Getting silly, man. We're getting
hangry.
silly.
All right, man, we hangry. Let's get this
Yo.
That's all we got. As usual, I'm Captain Villain Black,
I'm the second born.
This is the angry black man.
and we out.
We out. We out. We out.
What that was.
I know how you
That
ended
sound
it.
was.
Look, he got a thing. He said.
It's sour.
white man is.
It's sour as.
That's our egg
Game-
taste.
No, it's sour
you see what I
as.
did there?
It's sour as whatever.
Whoa.
It's sour. It's sour as
Nerd.
Game of Thrones last season. Boy, that was sour.
Did you hear that?
Game of Thrones.
Can you
Also,
look? Repeat that. Repeat that.
Raymond Rhodes.
Repeat that.
Game of Thrones.
You got to repeat that. Raymond Rose.
Would not let me finish my.
Yo, what? Yo, what?
Finish what I gotta say, dang it.
If Angela does have Dr. Manhattan's powers, and we've seen how they've experimented with the time stream, there's nothing to say that she could not reverse certain events that happen. There's nothing to say she can't. Number two, I feel like Lady True was a clone. So the real Lady True, I think, is out there and is probably going to plot on how to dial some of this back, especially if she knows that Angela has Dr. Man's powers. And the reason why I say that
Dr. Man's powers.
Dr. Manhattan, sorry, yeah, I forgot a few consonants. So, Dr. Man.
I've got my degree in manly things. Dr. Man.
But so, like we were saying earlier, when that
we
no,
gotta sit on
we're
this
not
for a
gonna do
minute.
this.
We're gonna talk about Dr. Man for a
We're
minute.
hungry. We can do this
hangry,
at where we gonna eat.
We hangry, man.
We hangry. So the squid that shot through Lady True's hand. Shut up.